This is Steve Erickson. The date of posting of this video is the date it's being shot, so I'm going to post it after shooting it. This is behind Bob's Furniture Store, Salem, New Hampshire. Over there in the corner of the, can't see it, about 2 months ago or so, pickup truck tried to hit me in the back corner. Two white males, probably mid-20s to mid-30s, tried to hit me with the pickup truck. I stood behind a pole. It went around a corner. One guy rushed at me from the passenger side, started running, and I just stood my ground. I didn't go anywhere. Ran halfway towards me, and then decided not to. I'm assuming that if I'm going to fight, he didn't want to rob me. Speaking of robbing, Monsanto. My father worked for Monsanto from about 1966 until he retired. I'm guessing 10 years ago or more that he retired. Still, he's part of some sort of organization that, from my earliest memories, he had a real issue with anybody that was self-employed, religious, or if they weren't educated and they had a pretty wife. He would make phone calls to the health department, police on people. He's had a lot of political power. He's ruined a lot of lives. Neighbors in Ludlow, Massachusetts. Monsanto is in Springfield, Massachusetts. From the time during the Vietnam War, Monsanto is at least partially responsible, probably big pharma companies as well, sending all data on all students to a Chinese database where the United Nations, China, the communists, the World Bank, and the biggest criminals in the history of the world to have data on everybody. Who's going to try and sue them? Who's going to try to get them in trouble criminally for their sex trafficking, drug trafficking? It was China that was processing most of the drugs that were coming out of the triangle something or other during Vietnam. So, and also Agent Orange, millions of tons was sprayed on Vietnam, on the Vietnamese, and then on U.S. troops too. So you kind of want to track to see the different chemicals that you add to the weed killer. What caused cancer in U.S. troops? You know, you have the VA hospital. You send that data. You can see what the hell you do. Did it burn out religion? Did it make somebody sterile? Did they get cancer? Did they have kids with the organs born, outside their bodies? They knew all this stuff, what was going on. So with the Chinese database of everyone, people who would be upset when the U.S. Constitution was suspended, they want to know, from the first grade, second grade, third grade, they have copies of what you wrote in different English classes each year. They have samples of your writing. You're leaning left, you're leaning right. Will you be a criminal? Will you be usable in the future? Will you be against them in the future? Big Pharma. I was 7 years old in 1971. German, possibly Nazis, Operation Paperclip, 1946. Japanese, German, other germ warfare scientists were absorbed in the U.S., into Big Pharma, into government, into police, everywhere. So these war criminals were giving policy on how to run prison camps. If there was martial law was declared in the U.S., basically they wanted to take over. Back in the 30s, the banks and the corporations worldwide, they tried to take over the United States and failed. And it looks like they've been able to succeed. Well, going back to the chess club in 1971, I played chess. I was the only kid in the chess team for Monsanto in Springfield. Age 7, only kid. And there was German as a first language scientists that were there. Some of them talked with my father on policy and all that. So here we go. What was the final solution in Nazi Germany's? The same ideology was transferred to scientists at Monsanto and Big Pharma. They were talking about using vaccines to get rid of the third world, and especially Africans in Africa, so the resources could be basically rescued. Fast forward today, the Monsanto, their database in China, they can fix any court case. Little boys were supplied to key judges. The Bar Association, the International Bar Association of Lawyers, they collect for the World Bank. So when you go to court, it's about breaking up the family. And if you happen to have a nice daughter or son that somebody wants to pay to have kidnapped, the federal agencies can soften up the family, you end up getting divorced, lose your house, move, and they kidnap your kid. They figure out some way to officially kidnap your kid. They're sold on their online version of everything, like girls 14 to 16 on milk cartons. A lot of them went to Saudi Arabia. They were paid for, they were ordered. And companies like Monsanto and the military transport, I'm not saying the military is at fault, and Monsanto and the CIA are pretty much one and the same. My father was a CIA spook. So I've been threatened all my life since I was 4. I was on a B-52. It was parked at Westover Air Force Base, Chicopee, Mass. 4 years old, my father brought me to that. Stuff went in the trunk of his car, police car cruisers. There was Asian girls in dog cages, 2 of them in the back of the B-52. Money on the tarmac to be put in the B-52. This stuff's been going on a long time. They want to get rid of us. They want to mark us with the version of prison tattoos, chip us. They don't want us traveling. They don't want us to get married. They don't want us to have any rights at all. And they want to dumb us down and change us genetically so we're service staff for them. Secular humanism. My father wrote one of the books, something about invisible friends. Just look up secular humanism and my invisible friends, and you'll see something that my father wrote. They want to merge with machines, and this is back in the 60s. And some of these plans have been, of bankers and 1984 and all those different books that were written by intelligence operatives and their family of what was a blueprint, not trying to scare us of what will be. I'm just sick of it. I've been harassed from the time I was aware. All data going to China and used to go after people like me. And I found out that my father was involved in talking to teachers and all that to learn better on how to get data back to China. My father met with Chinese intelligence in our house in Ludlow, Massachusetts, 1972 to 1974. Total traitor, total dirtbag. He's made, I don't know how many trips to China. It's people like my father, the reason why this shit's going on.